This is our first data related video that I talked about. Like I said before, it's not a training material or training session by any stretch. But what I wanted to do was basically share with you guys my insights and my experience on how you would sound knowledgeable and comfortable while speaking about data. So what it means is, being prepared to talk like a data proficient engineer, right? So, and this is useful for all those that are aspiring to become data professionals, be it database programmers or be it data analysts or be it analytics, be it AI, be it ML, whatever it may be. Data is really the foundation. So that's how they say, everyone keeps saying data is the new oil. But what exactly is data and how it works in the real world is what we're going to cover in this video. And it's more going to be an overview of how you need to speak if you were to make a career in data. So, if data is the oil, what exactly is this new oil about? Is it all numbers? Is it all text? Is it all files? Or is there something deeper? So, let's today peel back the buzzwords and understand what data really means and why this simple concept can make you sound 10 times more comfortable speaking about data and sounding like a data professional and breaking into a data career. So these are the fundamentals of what data is all about. Let's look at how this transformation works. Right? Imagine we have recorded 5 numbers, something like 25, 30, 31, 26, 29, and maybe a few more numbers. On their own, these numbers have no meaning. These are just data points, right? They could mean anything. But the moment I give them a label, now I say daily temperature. Underneath the daily temperature, I have these numbers. Now it makes sense. Because now you know what I mean by that is 25 degrees, 30 degrees, 26 degrees, because I'm talking about temperature. So the moment you add a label to a set of data elements, there is meaning to the data that turns into information. So that label helps you make sense out of it, so it's now valuable, and valuable data is information. But when I calculate the average temperature using these data elements, the number of data variables that you have or data values or the raw data that you have, if I calculate the average temperature, now you say this is the average temperature for the week using 7 numbers, because I call them at the top temperature. Now that average number becomes knowledge, because you have now processed the data and extracted the essence of the data, which is the knowledge. And if I use that knowledge to make some decisions, for example, a farmer decides whether to plant a crop, or you may decide to either carry an umbrella or not, or you may decide what t-shirt to wear. Is it a full sleeves time or a half sleeves time? Because the weather is too warm or too cold. Now, that becomes wisdom. That becomes the actionable insight that you have just drawn out of the data. And that knowledge gave you an actionable insight on which you act. So that's how a raw data attached with a label becomes information. Processed information then becomes knowledge. Insights drawn on that knowledge by combining the holistic information available to you at your disposal is the insights, and what you if you and help you make or take actions on top of them. So that's the actionable insight, right? Whether to plant a crop, whether to wear a full sleeves or not, whether to carry your umbrella or not. Now you have acted on the insights drawn out of the information at your disposal. This is how the life cycle of data to knowledge to information to insights or analytics works. I hope I'm helping you walk along with me and understanding and developing this deep, simple concept of what data means. And in one of my previous videos, I was actually teasing you guys, saying, hey, all data is not information, but all information is data. And this is where, like I was sharing in my other videos, I've interviewed many people, and my observation is that a lot of youngsters that want to demonstrate or just make flat out claims that they know data actually mistake and do this interview blunder by calling information as data or data as information, as though they are interchangeable. They are not. So until you process data, it doesn't become information. Data by itself on its own has zero meaning. So data is potential energy. It needs context to release its power. So the context associated is what gives it the meaning. But if there is no context, mere numbers, mere text, mere files have no idea, no meaning, zero meaning. A date is a date, so what? So you have to always associate context, then it becomes information. Otherwise, data or raw data on its own has zero meaning. So the best analysts are those who can move data up this ladder of data to knowledge to insights, from real raw numbers to business actions, or what I called the actionable insights. And here is an interview moment and an insight that I'd like to share with you guys. If you're ever asked in an interview, what is data? Don't say information or facts. That's a big trap most kids fall in. Don't do that. Instead, just say this: data are raw observations that acquire meaning only when structured and contextualized. So context gives it the meaning. Otherwise, raw collection of data has no meaning of its own. So please note for that when whenever you go for interviews or whenever you start talking to others and explaining or sharing with them that you are a data professional. So data professionals shall not talk about data and information as though they are interchangeable. They are not. So whenever you open a spreadsheet or run a report, ask yourself, am I looking at data or information? Right? And we will talk about in the next video, we will dig deeper into the transformation through something called DIKW. And it's a pyramid, so it's an incremental journey of how the data gets its value for a business. And that is the foundation of all analytical thinking, of analytics, and eventually into the AI/ML world. Because without this progression, your data on its own, raw data sitting someplace, has zero meaning. So this is my very first video on what is the basic definition of what is data. There are concepts that we will touch but not go too deep into, such as things about normalization or ER diagrams, denormalization, data modeling, entity relationships, database tables. How do you arrive at a table? What is the journey from raw data collected to creating tables? So this whole process is what we will touch upon briefly in one video. But I don't want, this is my advice to all the youngsters out there. If you have anything less than 5 years of experience, for God's sake, from your resumes, please remove database designing as a skill, as something that you have done. Because nobody will be given that opportunity in any organization whatsoever it may be. You must have about 8 to 10 years of experience before you even get anywhere close to doing that activity called database designing. So don't even claim that I've created indexes. Don't say it. Then you'll be in a safe position, because the moment you throw those key terms in your resume, you expose yourself as to how less or how little or how much you know. Okay, so this is the introduction to data, and we will go into the next step of how this data gains its value through our DIKW pyramid. See you in the next video, and good luck to you. God bless.